It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I'm joined this week by Matt, Pete, and at some point we're hoping Dave will be along. We'll get right into it, lads, with the hot topics. What's the most disappointing comeback? Do you know what the hot topic is?
Is it is it the Beatles?
It is. I
Yeah.
thought it was a pretty rubbish song.
Yeah, I quite
What?
liked it.
I don't know.
Do you
It
know what
just
though?
wasn't for me.
I watched the video of like all the have you seen the video for it?
No, is it the Get Back? Not Get Back. Is it Get Back? Is it that?
No, it's just like Paul and Ringo like in a studio and they like sort of what's the word for it? Like it's like hologram Shanks, but John and George. But like it's better than hologram Shanks.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's
Um
better than hologram shanks, but yeah.
yeah. But like it's quite nice and like it looks back and
Yeah.
I think like the video sort of puts a bit more meaning behind the words. So I quite
Okay.
liked it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a bit like Mailbag, Les. If you watch it, then you get more meaning behind things. You can see expressions. So
This is yeah.
that's not me comparing the Blue Room's work to the Beatles' work, but
I mean, the Blue Room could be bigger than the Beatles. Who knows? I think looking at our YouTube stats among 35 to 55-year-old males, it might well be. That's pretty much 100% of our catchment. But it's all good. Just going to actually just quickly. Oh yeah, go on. I'll come back to this. There's a couple of comments, but I'm going to come back to them. So yeah, what do you reckon then? What's the most disappointing comeback? Yorkshire Toffee said Rooney's return to Everton was disappointing simply because he was pretty worn out by them. I know he scored a worldie v West Ham, but nevertheless he was past it. I thought he was all right.
I did. Yeah. I thought he was all right when he came. I mean, he was our top scorer that season, wasn't he?
Yeah, and if
Scored the equaliser at Anfield, scored that hat trick against West Ham. I thought he was all right. I just don't think he was the type of player that we needed at the time. We went out and signed like three players in the same position.
Well, that's it. You think if he'd have been allowed to concentrate on that position, maybe because he used to go out wide, right, didn't he? And then he get frustrated and he dropped right back looking for it. I think he might have been better, but I don't know. I thought it was all right.
I just used to hate him in centre mid.
Mm.
He just be like, I think because he could like pass the ball quite far. Like people just thought like, oh, he can be this quarterback playing from deep, and it's like, oh, no. Like the reason I think that was so disappointing is because he started off so well, didn't he? Like goal against Stoke, goal against City, and you're like, right, he's still got some left here, and then he just kind of gradually got worse, didn't it? Like, yeah, I would have played him up front all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't. I think at that point in his career, like his goal scoring instincts were still quite good, but when Allardyce came in, he was basically playing as like where Onana plays now, isn't he? Like taking the ball off the centre backs and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, he probably couldn't have joined at a worse time, to be honest with you.
yeah. The worst comeback ever though is surely Istanbul 2005.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Horrendous.
It's got to be.
And then to win it with the goalkeeper 5 yards off his line. I was going to say, Alessandro Pistone's comeback was disappointing because I thought we got rid of him. And he'd been released, and then all of a sudden we just re-signed him for no reason. And I think he got injured after like the first. He got injured after the first training session and was out for like 3 months. So it was just the most pointless exercise ever.
He was basically that Barney Gumble, Mo Sislak meme, wasn't he? Always throwing Pistone out the door, and then he pops up behind him. Jeffers was a shocker, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jeffers, yeah. Oh, Jeffers.
Box in the box coming back.
Yeah.
Gravison was awful, wasn't he, as well? And Manny Fernandez.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Manny Fernandez looked like a different fella, didn't he?
Yeah. Like, there's so much excitement about him coming back as well. I mean, he came back, didn't he, in January, and he played in that... it's the League Cup semi-final, funnily enough, wasn't it, against Chelsea? I don't know, when we were 2-1 down the first leg, and everyone was like, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. And they're like, I think we were terrible, and Joe Cole scored, and it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was awful.
It was awful, yeah. Yeah, and so was he.
Yeah. There was a mini riot in the park end of that game, which I was in the centre of, which was fun.
Why? What did you do?
So, basically, I mean, we'd all taken a drink, and I think my dad was standing up, like, getting like frustrated because the atmosphere was grim. I think once we conceded that goal, that late one, Sean Wright Phillips, they proper put us on the back foot. but it never really got going, the atmosphere. So I think after about 70 minutes, my dad was just like dead frustrated and started shouting stuff. And some fellow just like ran up from like further down. I said, "You want to calm down and shut up, you," to my dad. So my dad obviously stood up front of them. I stood up behind my dad, and they're giving up loads. I just went, "Fuck off, mate," and just pushed him in the head. Next thing, like, it erupted everywhere.
Punched him in the head?
Pushed him in the head. Didn't punch him, I just pushed him as if to say, "Go away, will you?" And then, yeah, just like people came from all over the shop. Headlocks were administered. And then it was.
Have we found the headlocker?
Yeah, it was definitely someone in the park end. But it was like one of those things in school, you know, where there's a fight and a teacher turns up and everyone legs it. We saw the stewards coming up and everyone just ran and sat down in the seat like that. Like naughty school kids, and me and my dad got dragged out, which was good times.
Did you get dragged out? Yeah.
Yeah, me and my dad got kicked out.
Did you get banned or anything?
No. I was saying, take my season ticket. I'm not asked, take it, I don't care. Take it, will you? But they wouldn't, unfortunately. So
you never get this kind of riffraff in the Gladys Street, I'm telling you. Everyone's so well behaved all
everyone's
the time.
too stoned in the Gladys Street, that's why.
I've actually swapped seats for tomorrow, so I'm in the Gladys Street tomorrow.
Oh, are you? Where about?
I think, lower Gladys, like centre of the goal. Basically, because a friend of mine, his mate is taking his dad, and his dad doesn't like the view from the Gladys, or he finds it hard to see everything from the Gladys. So I've said he can have my ticket, so we're swapping.
This probably isn't the time to do this, but I'll meet you for a pint.
I don't drink, do I?
We'll talk
I don't drink, but I'll come and watch you drink if you want.
Mailbag matchmaking, it's a thing.
Yeah.
One other from me on disappointing comebacks. Off the football topic, but the Stone Roses, their second comeback, not the second coming. Absolutely dreadful. Released 2 songs. One was all right, one was awful. The gigs were good, but the comeback was
There's quite a few like famous sporting examples, isn't there? Like, I think Muhammad Ali, when he came back, was pretty dreadful. I mean, there's so many Everton ones, isn't there? Bloody hell.
Yeah. Kendall 3.
We ever got
like, no one else would have us.
Duncan's was all right, wasn't it? Like, he obviously wasn't as good, but he did
nothing else.
Well.
We had Man United, didn't we?
Landon Donovan wasn't quite as good, was he, when he came back second time?
No, second time round.
In terms of expectations, you could probably say Howard Kendall when he came back for the 3rd time. But then, having said that, given the side that we had, the fact that he kept us up was probably,
Yeah, and the thing you got to caveat that with is the fact that we'd actually approached Andy Gray in the summer to be our manager. Yeah. Nobody will come near us. Bobby Robson had us a bit of a dance again, didn't he? For like the 3rd time in his career, I think. And yeah, it ended up, right, we'll get Andy Gray. Then he talks a good game on the telly, doesn't he?
Yeah. He got a pay rise out of it, didn't he?
He did as well, yeah, he did.
Who will be the next player or manager to come back?
A manager? Oh, God, it's a good...
Seamus Coleman. Seamus Coleman will be.
No, but that means you'll never leave Everton. So
yeah, like, that's what I mean.
You'll go from like retiring to being like a coach within like a couple of days.
Lee Carsley.
Oh yeah,
could be a shout.
What about Richarlison when he's like inevitably gets binned off by Spurs in the summer?
Oh yes, please.
Good job, Dave. Good job, Dave's not here. Fucking hell. Jarrod Branthwaite when he's 33 and he's had 10 years at Man City.
Yeah. John Stones, maybe. For one more Cruyff turn at the park end.
Just so you can boo him one more time.
Boo him one last time.
John Stones, The Last Dance. Oh, right. So we'll move on to a question from TWS. 5 wins in the last 7. 13 goals scored. 6 conceded. 3 clean sheets. 1, what is going on? B, why aren't we happier?
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, do you know what? I think this might come from the fact that the other night was a bit flat by all accounts, wasn't it? So most said on post-match, and I'll just go to one of the comments here. Blues 8840 said, we just won 3-0 and Mark still thought it was a boring game. But then Joe said the same. He said he thought it was boring. But is that just like this sort of stage of the League Cup? It's always quite flat, isn't it? These sort of games. And it seems a bit mad to say a 3-0 win was was boring. Probably not since the days we were getting booed against QPR when we were 3-0 up. But it does seem a bit odd, but I can kind of see why, because it sounded very routine. They offered nothing. We just scored 3 goals and won. It wasn't like an amazing performance.
I hate when that happens.
I'll defer to everyone else on this one.
I personally, yeah, I mean the atmosphere, like you say, is always a bit flat in the League Cup. I think that what happened before the game probably didn't help as well in terms of people getting into the seats late and all that sort of thing. I think everyone was, it was a late match. Then there was all that stuff outside. I think any kind of buzz and optimism that was surging through the crowd outside dissipated by the time we actually got in. So maybe that played a small part. But yeah, again, I think at the moment, I think Evertonians are just a bit cautious, aren't we? We're just cautious about getting a bit too carried away. We're going to enjoy the moment of the fact that we're actually getting some good results. But I think after 2 years of false dawns, 30 years of false dawns, I think we're still cautious, aren't we? But I certainly think tomorrow will be a different matter. I think back in the Premier League, it's got to be that's our aim, isn't it? We've got to try and push them on and get them over the line to get them 3 points. So I think it's going to be different tomorrow, and hopefully we can get in.
I think the actual answer to this question is just that Mosey's a miserable bastard.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. In all seriousness, I think it was one of those games like where you're miles better, but you're just watching the other team pass the ball around loads, and like that's not really great for like a. Like it just felt like they was going to knock it round, and I was like, well, yeah, you knock it round as much as you like, but we'll get it back and just score.
Yeah,
it just felt like one of those games.
I do that to my brother on FIFA. I'm like, I just let him, I lull him into a false sense of security, and he lives in Spain, my brother as well. So he always does that rage quit thing where he'll just like hang up, he'll just disconnect. So we don't play FIFA against each other anymore. So if you're watching Alex. That's for you.
Probably for the best. We'll just go back to the first part then. What's going on? So, there was talk, like Dice even mentioned the XG thing, didn't he, and stuff. Is master plan coming together? Have we hit form because we've got like, I don't know, what looks like a relatively functional team? When they're all there, that first 11, it's all right, isn't it? Is it just that? You've just can't, because he's not, I don't think he's like the sort of manager who will put in place a really intricate game plan and ask loads of his players. But if you just do the simple things relatively well, inevitably you should be all right, really. Is it just that?
Probably just having a focal point, having a centre forward, an actual one, and not Neil Morphy. You know what I mean? With respect. I think just having a focal point is what's changed it, and then having runners. And Dyche has always said about the fitness. I don't think the players looked 100% when they first came back, but now you're seeing, the likes of Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison absolutely running themselves into the ground and still sprinting in the 90th minute. I think that's what it is. It's a combination of that, but again, I think it's just vital that we've had a settled side, and again, just having a focal point up front. It's been it's massive. And I say not Neil Morphy.
Well, that's it. Like it's having a striker up front who doesn't get like outpaced by goalies.
Apparently, that goalie's the fastest in the league, though. So,
but I was watching that last week at that Chelsea game at the end. It's like, oh god, yeah, that's what that felt like.
It was so funny.
He had 40 yards on him.
Oh, that was just one of the funniest things. Yeah, but I think I've been critical of Dyche, and I think loads of us have, but. Like the Calvert-Lewin we're seeing now, it's on him, isn't it? Like he played a bit of a dangerous game last year by probably not throwing him into games when you might have been able to get like an hour or 45 minutes in when we were scrapping for everything, and he probably left him out in the hope that where we are now, further down the line, he'd be in a better place physically, mentally, more confident, and it was a gamble, but it's worked, hasn't it? Like
it's a big credit to him, that, isn't it? Because a lot of managers have in the past and would put a player's welfare, put their own reputation ahead of a player's welfare. And as you say, he's not done that, has he? Because there were times at the start of the season where the temptation would have been, you know what, let's just get him in there, let's just play him. And especially in those first 3 or 4 games when we looked pretty rank up front, but he hasn't. And yeah, as you say, it is paying off now. So that is big credit to him.
I think that there's been I think he's deserved a bit of luck. Obviously, there's a lot of money to the XG thing, and I think probably it's a bit overplayed that the manager can't do anything about that. I think he can do something about that, really, but there are parts of it which are out of his control as well. But I think he's got a little bit lucky as well, because if you think back to that Bournemouth game, it was going to be Idrissa Gueye and James Garner starting that day, wasn't it, with Onana on the bench? And then Garner Gueye goes down injured in the warm up, Onana plays, and I don't, apart from 10 minutes on Wednesday night, it's been them two in midfield together, and they've looked really good since. So bit of fortune there, but I think in the main he deserves a lot of credit as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of managers do get that though, don't they? They sort of sometimes just stumble upon things that they wouldn't normally pick. So yeah.
That's not me having to go with Dice, by the way. From it's like, God,
no, it's a valid thing.
Can't give him any credit. Like it's just one of those things. Then, like I said, he deserved a couple of breaks definitely, and that definitely was one.
Yeah, I think the best managers in the world get a bit of luck like that. A player will be out of favour and somebody will put him in and he does well and he stays in, and so it's one of them things, isn't it?
Alex Ferguson say it's better to be a lucky manager than a great manager.
Or be Rafa Benitez and be.
Or did I just make that up?
Benitez was such a lucky manager. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. We'll come back to him later. Leah's asked favourite Everton home kit and why.
I'll always go back to the one we had when Beckford was here, just plain solid blue. It was like a darker blue as well, which I quite like.
Was that the Lecoq one with the collar?
No, it's not that one I've got there. You can see that one. It's
yeah.
It's like, I think it's the one before that. It's just like solid blue and had like a couple of like little bits of trim across the middle.
Yeah, so it had like a wave sort of stitch in there.
Yeah. But no like colour change or anything.
Yeah, the pink one was navy, wasn't it? Pink and navy.
And they also I also like the like 2006-07. Like it's got like a tiny little collar on it, and like a couple of white stripes down the side.
Yeah, Champions League kit, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think mine's got to be the.
We're saying kit or game.
Kit.
Home kit.
Oh, kit. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think mine's. So the Goodison 125 years one, which is just outstanding, even though we only wore it once. I just think from like personal reasons, the 93-94 home kit, that was when I started going to game with my mates again. And although we were dreadful, my first derby we won 2-0 when that kit when Cotty scored the second late on. That was after the thingy fight with McManaman and Grobbelaar that game. I think that kit just with the Umbro kit from them were unreal. Anyway, that one was boss with the shorts were class and the socks were great as well. So I think that one for me, 93. Pete?
Yeah, I'm gonna sound a bit controversial here. I actually really loved that 97 to 99 1-2-1 light
blue one.
Genuinely, I actually just really loved that kit. I loved the balance of it. This is from when I was a kid.
Is that the one where they got the colours the wrong way round on some of the kits?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And but that one, Kevin Campbell, big dunk. It was the first season I had a season ticket, and I've been in the same seat since. So that kit's kind of a bit special to me for a number of reasons. So that one's up there. But yeah, and also the Danker kit, the 95, would it have been 95, 96?
I was just going to say that. The socks make it.
The black and blue socks, striped socks, which kind of look a little bit Wicked Witch of the West, but they worked for some reason, didn't they?
Yeah, it was class, that kit. Yeah, do you know what, that 98 one you said, I didn't like it at all at the time and I never bought it. But in recent years, looking back on it, I do actually quite like it now, even though it's the wrong blue completely.
Yeah,
it's one of those I look back on and think I quite like that now.
I just remember that the 1-to-1 was like felt, wasn't it? Like a weird material. Like whenever your kit would go in the washing machine, like it'd get like dead dirty and like loads of bits of fluff attached to it. It was just a bit, it's a bit horrible.
I've got one of the aways from them. Like it's a big baggy yellow one, and the Umbro was massive, but the 1-to-1 was huge. It was like half a cereal packet on the front of your kit. And when you fold it up, it's just dead stiff and just doesn't fold at all. It was weird material that. But yeah,
just all over it. Pete saying there about the socks, like just imagining loads of There's people going out on Halloween dressed as a witch in Everton 1995 socks and a broomstick.
It's a good look. Very Meghan Mog. Mike Blakey, after that lad earlier in the week said he didn't rate Baines.
I didn't see this. Like,
it was just a tweet, and he just said it was just a. Yeah, I think he said he couldn't defend or something, so he didn't rate him.
I saw it. It was because he quote tweeted his goal against Newcastle, the free kick.
Oh yeah.
And he said something like, even though I didn't rate Baines, this is a great goal, something along those lines. Yeah. And it's like, you didn't rate Baines.
It's a game of opinions, but some opinions are just plain wrong, and I think that's one of them. And I think mine will be on this probably. So Mike's asked, what is the play you didn't rate that everyone else goes mad for? Non-Everton players are accepted.
Well, I've got one currently.
It's just James Winston, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think he's all right, James Garner, but I don't get the huge loving for him. I've got to be honest. Like I think he's doing he's doing well. He's just like a 6 out of 10 at everything for me, which is fine for us at the moment. But I don't think he quite warrants the hype that he's getting from some sections of our fan base. But I've said it now; it's out there.
I think he's also going to have to make a decision on his hair at some point as well. He's getting close to a comb over, I think, but that's another story.
Is he like going bald? Is he?
I know the signs, and yeah, just around the temple.
Well versed.
I know these signs, and I'm convinced. Yeah, the comb over comes from the side a bit. Yeah. But that's no reason to disparage his football ability. But yeah, I think you're right. He is probably a solid 6, isn't he? Pretty much all the time, which is great. But it's been that long since we've had a solid 6.
I've already converted Les. No.
Yeah. So it doesn't take much.
I'm fully expecting the pelters for that, but come at me.
Wait for the comments.
Yeah.
Pete?
I always remember, going back to players, I always remember when we signed Andy Johnson. And I remember he scored twice in his debut? But like one of them was
his first 4 games, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he scored the first one, didn't he? The second one, Arteta scored the penalty against Watford.
That was the handball which hit
his head.
Jason Newell in the head, didn't
it? The one time a decision went our way.
Yeah. It was so blatantly his head as well. It was amazing.
Nearly knocked him out. But I remember everyone really hyping up Andy Johnson, and I really wanted him to do well. But I said at the time, and my dad and my brother looked at me like I had 2 heads. I said, he can't finish. I said, he's got no composure. I said, he puts his foot through it, but he doesn't have composure to finish. And they were caught, this is in the middle of his run where he was bagging loads of goals. And people might disagree with me, but I actually genuinely thought that he missed so many chances. But having said that, on reflection, at least he was getting in good positions. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it was helped as well. I know that a lot of his goals at Palace the season before had come from penalties, and there was that thing where he wasn't getting given penalties and stuff like that, and maybe that affected his actual goal tally. But James McCarthy as well. I liked McCarthy for some things he did do, but I touched on this before, where I always thought McCarthy, his stats, when people get hung up on stats, his stats kind of didn't tell the full story. Where he was, his pass success rate, for example, used to get thrown around as if he was like the second coming of Zidane, but actually his pass for all 5 yards. He'd win the ball back really well, but then he'd just pass it. He'd never really impact on a game in possession for me. But and then moving to like other players, I've never rated Paul Pogba. Don't care if he's playing for France. Don't care if he's playing for Man United or Juventus. I've never rated him. I've always thought that he was a flash in the pan player. I think he had moments, but overall, didn't rate him. Never have, never will. And if I want to be really controversial, Neymar can do one as well.
Yeah, shite him. Mine's probably a very controversial one, and it will show that I have a complete lack of knowledge about football. But I never got the fuss over Paul Scholes ever. Nope.
I'm with you on that.
I've never seen what the fuss is.
I would have Gerrard or Lampard over him in that ridiculously tiresome debate that online banter accounts have every single day.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he was obviously good, but do you know what? I'd probably rather have Roy Keane.
Yeah, that's something. Everyone always goes, "Oh, Paul Scholes was like absolutely amazing. He's better than him. He's better than him." But I just never saw it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch football anyway, unless
He's
it's
got
Everton.
better and better since he retired, hasn't he?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I remember he scored on. He's playing five-a-side, and someone videoed him scoring from like his own goal, and it was like, "Look, that's how good Paul Scholes is." Like he's playing five-a-side against all the wild men. Christ,
Dave from the pub.
it was.
The one thing I would say about Paul
But
Scholes, the Gerrard Scholes Lampard debate is, it. I think it would depend on which team you threw them into. Because if you had the prime Barca like Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, and all them, I think Paul Scholes, you could drop him into that side, and I think he'd be able to play that style of football. I'm not sure if Gerrard would. Gerrard was more like, I'll take the game by the scruff of the neck and lead the side. He was like a leader. He was like a sort of one man team almost with some of the shite he was playing with.
I
And
mean,
then Lampard again was surrounded by great players, but I don't think that's that. I say, just if you're gonna say, in my opinion, that Barcelona side was the best team I've seen, like the best all round in terms of technical ability, in terms of everything else. I think Paul Scholes is the one who you could drop in there and he'd hold his own.
fair enough. I'm
he
not going to
he
argue.
doesn't get in that team, though, does he?
No, he doesn't get in the
He's not
team,
getting
but
him before Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, is he? He's sat on the bench every week.
yeah, you could be a good option off the bench, yeah.
Sam Robinson's asked after Dwight McNeil was booed by the Burnley fans. What's the least deserved boo you've ever dished out at a game? This can also go out to that you've ever heard at a game because I know not all of us boo. I don't, despite what people think.
Do you remember when Aaron Ramsey got booed by the Stoke fans when he came back to Stoke because he got his leg broken by Ryan Shawcross? It's like, how dare you be on the end of a terrible tackle that nearly ends your career, you bastard!
Didn't we once boo Steve Sidwell because he got injured?
Because he nearly signed for us or something.
He nearly signed for us, but he got injured, or he didn't pass the medical and didn't sign, and then he came back with.
Was that Sean Davis?
Oh, was it Sean Davis? Yeah, it was Sean Davis. Yeah, not Sidwell, Sean Davis. Yeah.
I thought literally this week. I couldn't believe some West Ham fans booed Declan Rice. Like,
yeah,
won a European trophy. It was the captain. Like,
yeah,
they got 110 million pounds. Bloody hell! Like, what? All he's ever said as well is like, I absolutely love West Ham.
Very strange.
If you're gonna
Can I say something about that though? He did all those things, and he was like Mr. West Ham, and then literally 2 weeks later he scored in the pre-season and was kissing the Arsenal badge.
But it's like, if you're gonna like paint a perfect way to leave like a football club like at like that level, like us West Ham, sort of part of the table, like that, you win a trophy as captain. As like a boyhood player in your last ever game, and then you go off to play in the Champions League, and he's still getting booed for it.
It's not like he went to Spurs or Chelsea. I think as far as West Ham fans are concerned, I think Arsenal are probably the least offensive out of those teams. So it's like, as you say, it couldn't have been any more like set up for him to go. Okay, yeah, we've done all this. I'm going now. Mad, very strange.
Like, imagine if he didn't do all that.
We've got mad booing like standards, haven't we, as well? Like some players, like Lukaku comes back and gets like booed, which I can sort of understand, but then Steven Naismith comes back and he gets applauded when he scores against us. It's like, what are we doing here?
I always remember the one for the booing, and a different thing was when we played Fulham the year that Rooney left, and Mark Pembridge was playing for Fulham, and so was Thomas Rudzinski. And Rudzinski had like given us been like dead up, like mouthy when he left. But like it was dead funny because we were proper giving Rudzinski loads. But it was almost like, just to really nail it home, we were giving Mark Pembridge standing ovations on the corners. And it was the best reception Pembridge ever had in his life at Everton. But it was like treated like a hero. I think he wrote a letter to Everton, and it got published in the programme like a couple of weeks later, and it was so special to come back. The reception he got was amazing. It was just...
Didn't even get that when he played for us.
Would Richarlison get booed? Because he missed the game last year, didn't he?
No, he wouldn't get booed.
I hope not.
No. He still supports us. He's probably wearing an Everton shirt underneath the Tottenham one.
It'd be horrible if he did, wouldn't it? Because he's definitely a player who wouldn't deserve that. Just get him back.
What about Iwobi?
He's all right. He's
I
not
don't
enough
reckon
fella.
anyone
We
would
got
be
good
arsed
money
enough, would
for him.
they?
No.
I'd hope not anyway.
I'll boom in
Andy
that
Gordon.
quarter-final. I'll boom in that Carabao Cup quarter-final.
Oh, God, yeah.
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 Sorry,
God,
Alex.
I'd actually forgot about him, yeah. Bloody hell.
Anthony Gordon, no, last season, that was the biggest shithouse move from Eddie Howe, where he left Anthony Gordon on the bench. He didn't warm up the entire game and just threw him on when they were battering us like 3 or 4-0. Can't remember what it was now,
And the ground
4-1.
was empty.
Yeah, and then he brought him on like in injury time just so he could like be, amongst the celebrations or whatever. I thought, you shithouse. Because literally the players warm up in front of me as well. And he didn't appear the whole game. So I don't know where he was warming up like. But I thought that,
I think given Eddie Howe's comments, I know there is employers, but given Eddie Howe's comments on how good the Saudi Arabia World Cup will be, I think we know what sort of a shithouse he is anyway.
Talking about like transport links and stuff, wasn't he? Like train times, yeah.
How on top is that though? The fact Australia just probably looked at it and went, you know what, it's not even worth it, is it? Let's not even waste any money.
Yeah, very Australian sort of mentality. Just like, nah.
Yeah, defo. Stuart Mason, what's been your favourite player goal celebration? A lot of soccer chat tonight. It's good.
Tim Cahill.
Soccer chat.
Soccer chat. Tim Cahill corner flag.
Tim Cahill's corner flag.
That was me. Or Big Dunk when, he used to like whip his shirt off and put it over his head. He only did it a couple of times though. And I always remember the United game when we won 1-0 when we finished 4th. And he just been, the one he did that originally in '94, didn't he? Then he did it again in 2004, was it?
Yeah,
2005,
Or he scored against United. But what had happened was he'd been booked a few minutes earlier, just before the goal. I think he'd like thrown him out on the floor or something, or he'd like elbowed someone, and he went to take his shirt off and then stopped himself because I think it was like, I'll get myself sent off, and we just didn't need that. But and then Scholes and Neville both got sent off.
Scholes just volleyed. It was a kill ban. Didn't he just hoof kill ban?
Yeah, it's like it wasn't even like a proper like hack either. It was like a shite Scholes. Didn't even kick people.
Exactly, just a pig-eyed hatchet man. That's all he was.
Yeah. I used to love Baffertimby Gomez's Panther celebration.
Oh God, yeah.
Remember that? It was so scary. Like he'd start crawling towards you on his hands and knees in the crowd. Like, God, I'm gonna get eaten by this fella.
You can't mention that type of celebration and not mention the worst thing in football, which is the Hull fans when they do like that. You get mauled by the Tigers and you start doing this.
I was also thinking of Robbie Fowler's Rigobert song.
That was great, to be fair.
Celebration. That was so funny. It was
fair enough. That was really good. Yeah,
it was fair enough. But the way what's his name? Juliet afterwards said, "Oh no, he was eating the grass," because that's what we do to take the piss out of Rigobert's song. What Rigobert's song? What? Hang on.
Sometimes you just got to say fair fucks, and that was really good.
Exactly, it was, wasn't it? It was. I think I've got a very, very specific one. Trevor Steven against Bayern Munich, because I just think he was just one of the coolest players ever. He was just like, you say a Rolls Royce of a player now, but he was unreal. But it's just that finish, the way he just lobs it over. That's it, Everton are through. And just as the ball's dropping into the net, he just turns away and like finger in the air. It's lovely. I think that's specifically my favourite one. Just before we go to a break, a couple of quick ones on Tommy M. Who wins the straight net? Peter Reid or Gobshite Cummings?
Do we even need to answer this?
Well, he says, and how does Reedy do it?
It'd be one punch from it, I think.
Well, I'm hoping it's like marble tackle down the back of the Achilles, that one.
I think like that whole exchange, like, it just strikes to me as like Dominic Cummings is just clearly doesn't quite get what Peter's saying. he's like ignorant to it all, isn't he? Like, I don't think he wants to I don't think he wants to actually go for a chat with you, mate, about things. It's not that kind of bevy.
Yeah, let's go for a bevy in a flat roofed pub. And CWS, name a former Everton player and a pseudo political figure you have on the Reid v Cummings undercard.
What do we have?
Everton player.
Pat Van der Now and Boris Johnson, because Pat Van der Now would absolutely murder him. Have a double.
I'll go Joe Robles, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Battle of the Lanky Bastards.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
And
We'll
Robles
just
is
get-
Robles is got a bit of heft about him, hasn't he? So I reckon
Yeah.
he could, do some damage.
Neville Southall will be Mark Francois. That'll do for me.
Pull that weight
just
right
throw
off.
just throw Big Duncan in.
We like
in
Barry
like...
Green back, we Penfold. Right, we will take a break there. I think we're halfway through. I think that's all the football stuff out of the way, so everyone will be happy about that. If you don't want to listen to the non-football stuff, just leave now as the break comes on. But I would stay around. Got questions from Maggie, more from TWS, Chris, and Keith and Ed. So yeah, we'll catch you soon. We're back. Hope you got some wonderful adverts there. Obviously, they had nothing to do with us. It's all about your search history. Pete, you had a goal celebration that you wanted to pick up on?
Yeah, I totally forgot about it. One of my favourite ever goal celebrations in terms of shithousery, in terms of piss boiling, was Adebayor against Arsenal, where he sprinted. I've never seen him run that fast in my life, and he sprinted all the way down and knee slid in front of the Arsenal fans and nearly caused a riot. And the reason why that sticks in my brain is when we play Burnley in the league at home, I want Dwight McNeil to do the same.
What was the crack with McNeil getting booed? Anyone got any idea? Seems a bit of an odd one.
I don't get it.
Very
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
So
Tarkowski didn't, did he? And you think Tarkowski actually saw his contract out?
Yeah, I take it he
I
got
thought he got
booed
good money.
before he did the celebration to them, and that's why he did it.
Oh, he did, yeah. He was getting pelters all the way through.
Strange, really odd. TWS has asked, who or what always catches your eye at the match?
The queue for the Upper Gladys.
Certainly not the football, anyway.
Like I walk past that every time to get to my seat, and I think I'm just so glad I don't sit there. It looks absolutely enormous every single game. Like poor souls like Matt Fusk having to wait in that. God.
Do you reckon you have to get there dead early then, or just get in late?
Well, Matt doesn't, does he? So,
No, that's true.
unless it just goes really quick. But oh God, no.
Yeah, could be asked. Just want to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's never queues getting into the park and still getting out. That's the thing.
Sorry.
The one thing I thought for this, sorry, just quickly, the one thing I thought for this was there's a fella who sits in the park end. He's got he usually has a skinhead, but with a silver quiff. And every week I see him, I just marvel at this hair. Yeah, so I think he sometimes has like an American flat top, which is basically just like completely shaved with a little tuft at the front that goes up. But I just marvel at it every week. It's unreal. It's like, yeah, it's one of the wonders of the world.
If you're a listener, Silver Quiff man, can we get you on? I'd love that.
Oh, it'd be great. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Pete,
I need to see him.
You do it.
I haven't got the hair at the front. I can do the opposite.
Do the Doc Brown.
Yeah. We can sort of meet up in the middle, and then we'll come together as one. But I was going to say the thing that always catches my eye, and it's my favourite part of the game, and I've mentioned it before, but it's the I'm in the main stand, but it's seeing the reaction from the lower Bullens as players run past or as the lino goes past, I just love it. It's such a great observational sport. I'm just watching the fume from the lower Bullens. I love it. I absolutely, and it's like, it doesn't matter their age. Like you've got like kids, you've got grandparents, everyone just coming together as one to give massive loads of abuse to people. It's fantastic. I love it.
Do you have some people you look out for because you think, oh, they're going to be on form today?
There's a fella in the Gladys Street, like sort of down below me to the left, and he's a massive fella, big fella, and he must sit on like the end of the row because it's where the steps are, like going sort of it's by where where the wheelchair access is. It's sort of by there, but this fella, like any time a player goes anywhere near the front of the Gladys Street, he's like a guard dog. He goes sprinting down the steps and gets right to the front, and he's giving it loads. And it's just he's the scariest guy ever, but he's brilliant. But it's like this guy, and you can just see him moving out the corner of your eye as he gets close.
We used to sit down the other end of the park end towards the aways, And it was always good to see, like, when you got in, you'd always have a look and you'd always scan and, like, try and pick out who the biggest knobhead's going to be in the away crowd. And you could generally pick it out to a man who the biggest dickhead was going to be. It's a very good spectator sport. I would recommend it for anyone who sits down that end. They're generally massive and have got Stone Island on. That's a bit of a giveaway. Maggie, who has more fun chasing a ball, Beto or a friendly Labrador?
Oh,
he is so funny, isn't he? Like, I've never seen anyone like keener to make an impact at anything in their life as he was on Wednesday.
Yeah, he is. He's got cult hero potential, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, but he's also got, like, every now and then he does something like that assist, and you're like, oh, you might actually be, like, quite decent.
Yeah, I'd like to see more crosses to his head.
Yeah, he had that one header against Doncaster, didn't he? And everyone's like, oh, he's going to be amazing in the air, and it's like, sort of, not really.
Yeah. When he came on against Luton, I don't think he put a single cross in, did we?
No.
The two of them up front didn't cross the ball once.
Yeah, I'm reserving judgment on Beto. I actually think I've seen he's got attributes there that we can take advantage of. I think he'll come good myself. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with having someone who just wants to run after the ball and sort of and chase it round and has a bit of energy. Don't mind that.
No, I'm fully into that.
He just reeks of like nuisance value, doesn't he? To like use a football cliche. He is like the ultimate like nuisance value player.
He's massive as well, isn't he? He's massive. Yeah. He's quick. Never seen anyone that tall who can run that quick. It's mad.
Yeah, that's it. He can knock centre backs about, which is, it's a good thing.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be sound. Maggie, Denby Castle bleep test. Do it, you cowards.
I think we can kind of go to say no on that one.
Yeah, I actually did the bleep test a couple of weeks back at footy training.
How'd you get on?
9.8. I was only about 3 beeps off 10, which is quite good.
I honestly can't remember what's like good or not on that.
I think when I was at school, when I was about 14, with about 13 or 14, I got to like level 14 then. So I'm having nearly at level 10.
If I got to level 2, I think I'd be astonished and very proud of myself. So
actually, I'll find it. Yeah, I'll get the speeds up in a minute because I was looking at the speeds and it does go really fast towards the end. Maggie, given that we've had a player who was a bin man and a player who worked at KFC, what's the weirdest job you've ever had? Mine is presenter on a cable TV music show.
Is there still footage of this anywhere?
Yes, I do have it. I do have it on VHS cassette. It was that long ago. So I'd just come out of uni and there was an advert in the Wirral Globe for a music presenter. So I thought, God, I'll go for that. It was like an open audition in Hoylake. And I was just looking around at people and everyone just looked like better and cooler than me. It was like, I'm never getting this. And I got it, which was mental. And then we only made the pilot episode and then the cable TV station. I don't know if anyone remembers Liverpool Channel 1. Probably not. But it went bust and we never made another episode. But in that time, I interviewed the Supernaturals at the Lomax and had lots of fun just like filming this music show. It was dead good and really weird.
God, we need to get that on YouTube.
I do need to actually. I'll have to get it converted to an MP4.
God. I mean, I can't compete with that. Like, weirdest jobs I've had is like paper boy. I used to work in a pharmacy. That was it.
Any good drugs?
No, not really. No.
Any methadone? Anything like that?
Yeah, I used to deal with all that sort of stuff. Like, not deal that stuff. I used to deal with that.
That sounds like an interesting job to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, it was always like, because I was only like, well, I started working when I was like 16, 17. And like, sometimes you'd have like a locum pharmacist on the weekend and they just wouldn't turn up. And then like, you'd get, like, you weren't allowed to open the shop until the pharmacist was there. So you'd get people turn up for like stuff like that. And be like,
Jesus.
You couldn't open it. And they were obviously fuming.
They're not going to take that well.
No.
Shit. Look at that. And then Mosey went and made a career out of that.
No.
I bet you were better than him then.
Oh, God, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Definitely. It's taking a bit of a kick in Mose this episode, hasn't he?
Oh, it's about time, isn't it? To be honest.
Pete, I'm hoping it's going to be in Spain.
If you want me to talk about Spain, Les, I'll talk
Give
about
us a
Spain.
Spanish story of some weird job.
I got my job doing I used to do like PR work, like them annoying people who used to go over and tell you that the bar was the best place in the world. So
Yeah,
I didn't.
free fish
I
bowl
used
when
to.
you go in.
Yeah. It's like the in-betweeners, like type of thing where you go and there's no one in there. But I used to have a tactic. So the way I got the job was quite funny. So the owner of the bar, Andy, who's a big Notts Forest fan, and I say Notts as well, Notts Forest fan. Um, he bet me. There was a group of girls were coming up, were walking into the square, a group of Irish girls, and he bet me that he said if you can get them in, because I was trying to say to him, listen, your PR people are rubbish, basically, trying to do people out the job, and he said okay. He said, well, I'll tell you what. He said if you can get that group of girls in to come in for a drink, then your drinks are free all night. I said okay then. So I walked over to them, spoke to them a little bit, turned around, gave him the thumbs up, and he gave me a thumbs up back and carried on speaking to them. And they all followed me in, walked into this bar. So I said, this is Andy, the owner, go and order your drinks and all that sort of thing. So as the last one goes in, he says, how did you do that? And I said, I told him that fella over there is called Andy, he owns the bar, he's going to buy you all a drink if you come in now. And he went, what? I said, you asked me to get them in, you didn't tell me how. And it was literally like I had my mates there and stuff, so it was just, and he had to do it, so obviously I got my drinks free all night. And then he gave me a job doing that, because I was there for I used to go for 6 to 8 weeks every sort of summer, or 6 weeks every summer. And yeah, that's how I started. And then what I used to do though, I used to tell people, have you ever seen Miracle on 34th Street? When they say if we haven't got it, we'll find you someone who does. I had the Miracle on 34th Street technique of doing PR work. So what I'd say is, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to do karaoke? Go to that bar over there. Do you want to do this? Do you want Spanish music? Go to it. I'd literally tell them about all the other bars, and then I'd say, and this is our bar here. Come and see me for a drink later on, and we'll have a good time. And to be fair, it worked because it was honest. I'd be like, so yeah, there you go. If you ever do that job where you annoy people, be honest, and it's slightly less annoying.
The sage advice.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit too old for that now, but you never know.
Yeah,
can't believe
Pete. Just go over. Should we just all go over for a summer?
Pete was like the walking eye candy to get people into bars.
Yeah. God, yeah, Everton Dar's doing PR work and
hey, get in here.
Go to another bar, just boo them. Chris Lee, which Everton player / manager deserves to be thrown on top of a bonfire in effigy form before anyone gets on our case? No real people will be harmed in this hypothetical scenario. I've got two straight off the bat.
Barnby, Benitez.
Yes, they're the only two answers, really, aren't they? Yeah,
100%.
We'll move on. TWS, another Bonnie Night question. Is it Bonnie Night or Bommy Night? It's Bonnie Night with an M for me. Bommy for Scousers, isn't it? Bonnie Night over here, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm wool of less, yeah. Bonnie.
Bonnie Night just sounds like Scottish good night out.
But it's bonfire, so it's
Bonnie Night, you know what I
mean? Please share your favourite fireworks by means of impersonation of said firework.
Oh, I hate fireworks. I'm going to go full Everton Dar again from last week.
Yeah, I don't really like Bonnie Night either.
You got a dog, especially.
Oh, yeah, they were going out. The cat was terrified the other day because people were setting fireworks off.
I was having this is very weird, actually. I was having a drink with Preble downstairs at half time on Wednesday. And we were talking about fireworks. And he was telling me he's got a dog as well. And young kids. He's saying he bought some silent fireworks. And then we were talking about it, and some fella came up to us and was like, "What's the point of a firework if it doesn't make a noise?" And we were like, "He's got a dog and kids," and he was this fella just wasn't having it at all. We were trying to explain it to him. And he was very, very passionate about fireworks being loud, a big to do. Yeah, but
fuming at him, at you for not.
You seem quite affronted by the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
See, that's when everyone's a gangster until a real gangster turns up. Everyone's an Everton Dar until a real Everton Dar turns up.
Yeah,
that's what happened there.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I feel passionately enough about anything to interrupt two strangers talking about it. But yeah, very strange moment.
Yeah,
I admire his passion for loud fireworks.
Fair enough, Pete. He might be listening. Do you want to give him a firework impression? You're our resident voice, so.
I mean, how would you go about doing a firework impression? I don't get it. Just like a.
There you go. That'll be for me. That was a rocket,
Those little
wasn't it?
crappy ones. You like the ones where you get them out the box and they're massive and you think they're going to be great,
Yeah.
and then nothing happens. It's like the little at the end. Yeah.
I'll do an impression of Nick Preble's silent firework.
That was spot on.
It's boss that, yeah.
Yeah, I do hope that fella's not listening. He'll hate it. Another firework question from Chris. Who would win a firework fight between Tommy? I don't know what a firework fight is. Did he throw fireworks at each other? Anyway, between Tommy Gravison, Gaza, Rooney, and Jordan Pickford. I think the right answer to this is what's his name? The Italian lad who used to play for Liverpool. Balotelli. Yeah, I think he's the right answer.
Aficionado.
Yeah.
But you know what? With Balotelli, though, would he be good in a fight? Because he literally set his bathroom on fire, so he's clearly not got much control over them.
Yeah. A lot of ambition, but not much control.
Yeah.
I feel like Gaza would take it too far and probably like put, swap someone's fireworks for dynamite or something. Like, as a prank. Tommy Gravison's absolutely minted, so he could probably just get like a tank firing them or something. Yeah,
Tommy Gravison's firework tank.
Yeah, he'd like rent a barge out and it'd be like a full on display on Albert Dock or something because he's minted. But yeah, I reckon Gaza would win purely from accidentally blowing everyone else up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick one from TWS. Home visit from work today. Person had Christmas decorations up. So I said last night, because there's all that. There's been all this kicking off from several people on the M&S Christmas advert. I reckon just ban all Christmas adverts because they're just twee shite. So just ban them all. But there's one exception, like TWS pointed out, the Jelavic in a box.
That was amazing.
The only good Christmas advert. So with the festive season in the air, when does Christmas actually start? The Blue Room ruling. When can you start getting into Christmas? December 1st for me.
Yeah, that's it. Advent calendar signals the start of it, doesn't it?
Yeah. You've literally got a starting point there. Like,
yeah.
Pete?
I'm the same. My personal thing is 1st of December, so everything goes up to 1st of December. Having said that, I mean, as long as no one's being like, now's too early, isn't it? Let's be honest, but some people want to get in the festive spirit. Listen, there's enough bad things going on in the world. If someone wants to put a bit of bright light in their life, let them crack on. Chris,
Yeah. Pete taking it very seriously.
They'll regret it when the electricity bill comes in, but let them crack on.
That's just reminded me actually of people taking Mailbag seriously. So the last one I called "What Deserves a Point Deduction in Football," and Sniffer Badger said lying and cheating warrants a points deduction, which is what Everton done. We lost more money than Man United due to COVID-19. Gonna get what you deserve, fellas. The week confused me there, but anyway. Thanks to Griff 8578 for replying. It's just a bit of light-hearted chat, Chuckles. Don't take it too seriously.
Chuckles is a great, sort of passive-aggressive insult.
It's a nice little it's a tap on the head, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
well done to that
man. Quick one from Tommy. Custard or ice cream with sticky toffee pudding?
Ice cream.
Ooh. Cast and vote, Pete.
This is a hard one, This might be one of the most difficult questions I've ever been asked in my life. I'm going to say, because it's cold right now, I'd say custard, but in other circumstances, go on, let's go custard.
There we go.
Sorry, Matt.
Genuinely pained Pete to answer that.
But I feel like I've let ice cream down.
Keith, how concerned were you as a child about the Bermuda Triangle and quicksand, only to grow up and realise that they literally won't affect your life in the slightest? Is the quicksand on the way out to Hilbury Island? Because I've heard
there's some in Crosby, isn't there? I think people get stuck in it sometimes.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It's all the same, isn't it? Crosby and West Kirby and all that.
But I don't think it's like the quicksand in Jumanji, which literally swallows you up. You get stuck in it. But I mean, don't take that as a given. Don't go walking out onto Crosby Beach trying to find it. On my advice.
I think whoever asked that question,
Yeah.
I think whoever asked that question
In the comments,
is
I lost my entire family because of Matt Jones.
I think whoever's saying that is being complacent, and I think that they should reassess and reevaluate the dangers in this world. I think that quicksand is a very real present danger, and it needs to be respected, as
Yes,
is the
sir.
Bermuda Triangle.
He covering himself, yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone goes for a walk out to Crosby Beach and gets stuck, it's not your fault, is it? It's mine.
Exactly, Matt.
I think one other thing that like used to scare the shit out of me when I was young was spontaneous combustion. I remember there was there was a ghost book knocking around that everybody got out from the library or got bought for them at some point, and in it there was a section on spontaneous human combustion, which just showed people's lower legs and the rest of the body had burst into flames. I don't know why, it just seemed like a real thing that could happen, that you could just burst into flames.
I'm surprised that's not happened. I've got us in a few times when you see how angry some people get.
Yeah. But yeah, that was another one for me. Go from the custard one. I don't quite get this one from Maggie because I don't know what he would be sandpapering on a Sunday night. But anyway, Maggie asked, do you think Sean Dyche ever gets caught short on a Sunday night and has to use his own head as sandpaper?
Caught short?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say yeah.
Maybe she means like, I don't know, like he's doing some DIY on a Sunday, and like the shops shut at 4:00 sometimes, don't they? So
okay, yeah. I'll say yeah.
Seems like the type he'd be doing DIY at midnight on a Sunday.
Yeah.
He's got a shed. He'll have a shed specifically for DIYing and building.
I suppose the answer, no, I can't imagine him getting caught short. Yeah, I reckon he's got a lot of I reckon he's got spare sandpaper in his house.
Yeah.
Of different grains as well.
Yeah. He's got one of those like blocks which you can wrap the sandpaper around to make it easier to sandpaper.
But not like a sandpaper, like a sand belter, because that'd be cheap.
That's cheating.
Warren, what quiz or game show would you A, like to go on, and B, do best on?
So what's the one?
I'm just going to say catchphrase for both.
What's the one that Jazz Bal was on recently?
Oh, didn't know he was on one.
I don't know.
The one that Lee Mack hosts. It's like 100 something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, was he on that? Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? I think, yeah. But
Is it 100 to 1?
I've got to the last question like 3 times on that, so I reckon that.
Yeah. I'd want to go on tipping point.
The 1% club.
1% club. There we go. That's it. Yeah.
I'd go on tipping point. Yeah, but I'd go on that because of the amount of people who annoy me by playing it badly. And I'd want to go on there and show them how it's meant to be done. Because clearly, like, when you get to the final counter, if you put it in the middle two, you're not winning anything. Put it on the end. Yeah. Put it on the end ones, because the potential is that the counter will get stuck against the wall.
Would you go 1 or 4?
Oh, do you know what as well? Here's one for you. I would go in either 1 or 4, and which one had the most coins in it. Because a lot of the time the people go for the one which has got less coins. But in my opinion, every coin you put in wins your money.
You want a stacked shelf?
Yeah, you want a stacked shelf, and you want it on the end so that there's a potential for it to get pinned and not be able to move off to the side. And the amount of people, and the people who press the button too late or early.
Here's one for you.
Go on that, and I'd smash the setup after I've done, so no one else could do it.
You get the first question right. I'm conflicted on this now. Do you pass or play? Now, I used to hate people that passed, but you're not going to get it now first time, are you? I think I'd just swerve the first question.
Yeah, that's a good. Do you know what? There's a lot to be said about just sitting on your hands for a few questions and letting it play out a little bit. Yeah. That's something I'd consider, Les. When I go on, we'll consult about this. We'll get our minds together.
Yeah, you seem very passionate about it. Like, have you applied for it?
I've never applied for it. I think should I apply after this?
I reckon it's my favourite part of the workday. 3 o'clock lingo, 4 o'clock tipping points, 5 o'clock the chase. Amazing.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll go on there and get knocked out the first round with 0.
I know that. I know that he's getting off. I'm mentioning. I know that Mosey applied to go on Hunted with one of my other mates.
Did he? Yeah.
That's an
Yeah,
interesting one. I like
Yeah,
that.
that is.
so and like they've got like they haven't got on it, but they've got like a big plan on like how they like survive and all this. But
Can we find out the plan and then grass them up?
yeah,
Get them on there.
yeah. We listened to the Blue Room and they gave you plan away, lads. Unlucky.
And the final question then from Ed, which is open to all sorts of interpretation, but we'll keep it clean. What's the smallest animal you think you could confidently and comfortably ride? I've just realised this is an absolutely terrible question, given what's happened on Twitter.
I think Ed knows what he's doing there.
I think he knows what he's doing.
I'm just going to leave this question well alone. I'm not even going to touch it.
Yeah, that's not what that fella said. Pete?
Yeah, I think I'll pass as well. I think we'll pass on this one.
It's 3 passes on that one, Ed. But yeah, there you go. What an end to the show that was.
There'll be people who don't have a clue what that's all about, but
you don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Don't search Twitter for horse. Don't do that. No, really don't do that. Yeah, so there you go. So, like, quite fitting though that this week's mailbag has ended like one of those cheap fireworks that Pete sort of like impersonated before. I'm all for that, and you know, seeing as it's going to go out before the Brighton game, let's do a couple of predictions. Might as well. There's no harm in it. Just for fun.
I think we'll win 2-1 tomorrow. We'll go 2 up, and then we'll be struggling for the last half an hour to cling on because we'll be knackered, but we'll just about do it.
Yeah, 2-1. That's what I was thinking too. Pete?
Yeah, full house, 2-1.
Cracking. Get your bets on
again.
If you lose money, don't blame us. Yeah, 5-1 again.
And if you get stuck in quicksand, blame Matt.
Yeah. If you get stuck in quicksand, don't get on the phone to your bookies.
Can I just like legally say from a disclaimer point of view, do not go try and find quicksand in Crosby. We do not advise. Crosby Beach.
Stay away from the Bermuda Triangle as well.
Yeah. You are the Bermuda Triangle.
Right, lads. Cheers, Pete. Cheers, Matt. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.